Alright, welcome in everybody to our qualifiers match for Season 3 Blood Rush League. Now, we do have, again, an excess of 32 teams, and we'd like to cut it down to around 32 for our first set of rounds. So, yeah, it's going to be Void and Lirasanmarine taking it away in this nurse best of one. And it seems like Gun Cotton from Void is actually off to a pretty good start. Gets a nice little 2 blink onto news of apparently I've just completely forgotten the name. Avella Rose, that's right, and they've gone completely down on this edge map. So yeah, really fast-paced start for Mr. Gun Cotton or Miss Gun Cotton from Void, and these are actually two teams I know fairly well, so I'd like to see them fight it out. By the way, the ping's not too high, but yeah, things looking pretty good for Gun Cotton. This is a fairly early first down coming in, and without the corrupt, it's going to be a fairly nice boon for Gun Cotton, as they have decided to bring a really aggressive build into this nurse set, and something that I am extremely surprised about. Not only is it going to be a pop eruption ruin, which by the way ruin ignores the pop and eruption if it's selective, but also the death bound, which is oh my lord, that is such a crazy perk to bring in. But I mean, the idea kind of makes some sense that you just get information whenever the survivors do reset, and if they do reset, then like you can kind of locate them, and a 3v1 might be fairly effective. But at the moment, it's going to get absolutely no usage out of it. Claudette just did a very good job, Mr. LZY. Something I always maybe tease, maybe compliment him by, but Blight 1v1 event winner gets away from that gen. But that was quite a while ago, and Gun Cotton is looking around for our savior, our saving survivor, and can't find them. So doing a very good job of just delaying this pull and buying time for the gens. And that's the first one being done in the background by, I believe that was yeah, Ace. Going to be Sentry, and Claudette finally does come in. LZY to the rescue, literally to the rescue here, and actually finds an angle onto the unhook. I think tricking Gun Cotton to backing up from that angle, and does get a fairly decent unhook for it. But it's going to be a question whether Arvella can go in. Plot twist, and decides to strike a very oppressive combo on a survivor, and not only is it going to be the case, but probably DS2 as Arvella does get away from this with the DS, and the second generator pops in the background. So really good stuff for our survivors, but unfortunately Arvella is probably going to go down here. Gun Cotton is enough. This is the DH is going to be failed. Really good patience with Gun Cotton. I don't know. I guess maybe they just didn't see light in the first one. I just assumed it was light, but the distance wasn't enough. So that's really good information from Gun Cotton, as the second hook of Avella's coming in for this second generator, and Gun Cotton still hasn't been able to get any value from Eruption and Pop or still in the trial, but perhaps in the 3v1 ruin might even be more oppressive than this perk, because it stops that 8 regression event from coming in, and you can perhaps drag it out, but we're not in the 3v1 yet, so I should stop getting ahead of myself. So Gun Cotton kind of had to take the hook though away from the generator, so you can see that this hook here on, I would say, this east side is really isolated. There's not really too much around it, and kind of holding on by a thread in terms of like if he can defend the generators or not. And now he's just deciding to completely phase camp it, because he knows that the savior is already back up and full HP. You know, Claudette did heal up, and if they just allow that unhook to come in for free like the second time, that's an active DH on the survivor that's the tunnel out, and if you can't find them, that's just a huge deal, because if you do find them again, then they have DH in the future. But Gun Cotton's just happy to camp this out, you know, trying to prevent the unhook from coming in. But Lirasanmarine, I know that they have someone hovering by. They surely have to have somebody hovering by to get this unhook with the DH survivor unhook, but no one's here. It's as quiet as a house that's empty of people, because usually it's quiet. But no, I guess Lirasanmarine did not go for that, and the house was indeed empty, as that kill does come in at 1 gen remaining, and now we have to see with if Gun Cotton's build does come into full effect, because currently Ruin's still in the trial, and Lirasanmarine are just completely ignoring it. They're just neglecting to even acknowledge his presence, or they just don't even know it's there. So Gun Cotton has to start this out very slowly, trying to find the first survivor, potentially trying to find any clues as to where they are. But one thing's for sure, they aren't a novella with a dead hard, so the remaining 3 survivors should have fairly strong exhaustion perks to work with, and you can see Gun Cotton, yeah, is struggling to find any signs of life. Now, you know, there's some crows hanging around, but those aren't the signs of life that he wants. You can see this one resets, but like that's the one that he set off, so our survivor's not a peep from him at all, and this is really good patience from Lirasanmarine. You know, this crow again resets, but that's a queue that Gun set off themselves. Again, there's a bit of a standoff coming in from our survivors, and Lirasanmarine again doing just like beautiful stealthing work, which I do have to commend them on because I did recently spectate a set from a similar team to Lirasanmarine, similar region, and it was just like completely ridiculous stealthing going on. So that's Ruin actually popping in the distance. So our survivors did actually get something out of this, and they're just gonna play this extremely slowly, But they've got nothing to lose because they're putting the task up to Gun Cotton, like, you are the one who has to find the survivor. We can just sit around, be rats for the rest of the 20 minutes of this match, so we can try and get a generator done. And I guess that's the current plan because Gun Cotton seems to be doing nothing better. But we do find this generator, we do interrupt it with a small amount of progress and a small amount of scratch marks too. So our survivors really far away from this gen setup, and Gun Cotton is not going to bite this this fishing line and just try and go back into the gen setup, just trying to catch out again any kind of rotations going on. But I mean, again, really nothing coming in from Lirasanmarine. They're just showing nothing, and oh man, Gun Cotton has to go look for someone. They had to go at least try and find somebody in this time, but again, it's just beautiful stealthing work. So I guess this is where the Deathbound pick should come in handy. If Gun Cotton were to find somebody, which they have now, Sentry getting caught on the edge map of, I believe this would be like a 7 or 10. But it's going to mean that this tag comes through, and Gun Cotton might be able to heal up a little bit here. Yeah, it does return to the 3-gen understanding Deathbound with information, and leaving our ace injured as well is also not a bad thing. And oh damn, and this gen suddenly has a good amount of progress as well, so I'm curious to see how Gun Cotton will attack the survivors here, or attack the survivors' strategy, because it's the survivors who attack the gens, but the ball's kind of in Gun Cotton's court, because yet again our survivors are showing pretty much nothing. Yeah, I guess they're perhaps going for the reset, but Gun Cotton actually spots it out, finds the... Is that a Claudette scream? Oh my lord, I could not tell. But that's Ace and I believe Claudette being caught out here on this little bit of edge map, and now Gun Cotton can maybe commit to the generators, to the chase, knowing that the gens have not been aggressively doubled. So he just want to get the eruption proc, and he does want to get that, but it's there's an issue coming in because again our Ace has gone gone down in the perfect location, and Gun Cotton's just going to pick up. So yeah, he can't defend the hook, and the generators are slowly being progressed, and it's looking pretty good for Lira, I would say. But Gun Cotton could definitely still make something out of this, because the information of where entry is always a big deal. But it's again going to be a survivor stealthing out here, just making Gun Cotton's life difficult. Voices just disappeared into thin air. Not surprising, honestly, but it's brought enough time for the reset to come into Voices, and we're kind of back to square one, except Gun Cotton noticeably has a good amount of kicks less. That's around 25 to 30% of the kicks exhausted on these 3 generators, and ooh, things have to accelerate for Gun Cotton here, because he can't keep up like this. Eventually the generators will run out of kicks, and Lirasanmarine will slowly increase the effectiveness of their little bits of gens, because can't be regressed. But yeah, LZY getting tagged in this edge map is going to be a nice little time waste with Gun Cotton. But oh, look at this, somebody already on the gen. I thought I saw a spark flying, so maybe not. But he's still afraid to commit, and I can't blame them at all, because yeah, look at this. There's another survivor here. Could either be Voices or Sentry, and Sentry is going to be taking the next chase. Remember, we do have that light in the back pocket from Sentry. Probably no DS. Oh yeah, no DS because they're duplicate perks. So, and they charge again. There's still a pretty big deal coming in, and Gun Cotton misses a swing. Maybe a little bit greedy for this. Down might result in just a couple of extra seconds and percentages on the gens to be put in, but no way the gens pop in this time, and Sentry goes down again. So Yeah, Gun does make the second hook happen, and that is going to be very, very good. It can always force Sentry to play safe whenever they are, you know, even, like, I guess even looked at from an Earth, but that's a good amount of pressure again yet on this middle gen, and boys, this spin burst away to safety is can't really be committed yet again. I don't really know where. I was gonna say I don't really know where LZY is, but LZY gets a pull, and a Survivors play is very, very simple, but still working pretty well because the stalls are effective and the chases are still doing pretty well. But LZY might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Deliverance in the back pocket, most likely coming into this, but probably gonna get slugged here. You know, Conan is a fairly experienced killer, immediately turns away to try and interrupt this generator, but I don't know if they do make it in time. Eruption 10% is a lot, but it isn't infinite, and yeah, it's just gonna be enough. Just enough to stop the generator. But Conan doesn't kick it again with Eruption. Oh, I do understand, because Eruption would have been on cooldown, so they're just going for the commit onto Voices on this edge map. Nice little one blink there is going to secure fairly fast 2-tap. I don't know what Voices is cooking on this edge map, but he's doing very, very well. Baits out the swing from Conan. He's made it all the way across the map thanks to the spin burst and juke there. And that's going to allow a potential rotation from our Survivors to come in yet again. It's just very, very annoying for Conan. Look at this, leaving the generator setup, being stung by these little mosquitoes is starting to hurt now. You can't really afford to give away too many more kicks, too many more percentages. Look at that, the spike's coming up again, and I hate to say it, but Lirasanmarine, do I hate to say it? No, I love to say it. Lirasanmarine is playing really, really patient and really exceptional in this 3v1, and we're probably going to be seeing outs. Look at this. It's absolutely nowhere to be seen yet again. And Conan, my friend, you have to change up your style of play, because I think at this point, yeah, you've been trying the same thing over and over again. Unless they've resigned themselves to not a 4K1, then pretty obvious that all the gens are going to pop in this scenario. But Alan is going to scream here, Qualifier gets reset, and a quick little punish for that is going to result in number one, but like, can they afford to take this chase? Yes, they can. Oh my lord. Okay, Voices is going to be a fan of the distance, and a pickup's actually going to happen this time with this fast down. Conan might want to get the pop go into the gen, and I think this will be enough for him to drop it. So, yeah, that one little mistake from Lirasanmarine is kind of tipping the scales back in Conan's favor, but yet again, this gen doesn't have that many kicks left of it, so it's still stuck between these two objective points. One being the hook and one being the generator over there. So it does finally commit to the chases now, and Cornet's going to go down for this, but I think the generator might pop in the distance. It's hard to say, but without this Survivor getting that immediate pull, I think that gen has to be so close to being down. I would, oh my lord. It's not done at all, it's on 50%. And that was enough for Conan, I guess. That one slip up by Voices is just enough to force this out. And look at this other gen on 50% as well. Like 50 plus 50 is 100, but you split it between two generators, and that is just not going to be enough. But the game's not over yet. Like, they still have pressure on the generators. Sentry still unknown. The position is going to be made clear very quickly with this heal, but the game's not over. They still have two standing Survivors. One has a medkit. I'm not sure how much charges they have left on it, and Conan does decide to commit to Sentry here. So Sentry's probably gonna die over here, and with this coming in, with this early hit, which is pretty much unavoidable, I think this just might end it here. But Survivor's obviously doubling a generator, might get enough progress done, and Conan's kind of doubting themselves. Kind of wants to go back to the gens, but with that reset coming in, I think that might just seal up any remnant of this last gen popping for the time being. So yeah, we've got a bit of a problem here for our Survivors in this 2v1. what do you do? What do you do? We have one generator which has a good amount of kicks already placed onto it, so not many left. So definitely the one you want to attack. And this one, you can just see there's 5 kicks already placed on it or something. But yeah, like Asmani could afford to play this fairly slowly. Oh my god, Gun Connor has run out of kicks on this mid gen. I just realized maybe that's why they didn't pop it before. And yeah, this still looks fairly hopeful for Survivor side, even though there's only 2 of them. This gen can't go down anymore. So, oh my lord, this is still amazing to see what both sides do here. Gun Connor does actually commit to this edge map. Trying to find a survivor here. This sees the progress being worked on, and that's voices being found on the edge map, popping this good burst. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Beautiful prediction from Gun Connor is going to close out this chase very quickly. Again, I think quick enough to prevent the generator from popping, but Gun Connor doesn't think so. He heads back to the generator, tries to catch up Cornet, and does do so successfully, but generator's still really close to being done. We could hear it. It's so close, 90%, maybe even larger. No, maybe even more. But it's gonna be enough. Oh my god. What is this? If he was there, then he was not there. And oh my god, he tries to get it done. He was there. He was behind. And that is it. That's it. I think Gun Connor hooks voices. Unless he's like some crazy deliverance play. No, he's dead. Oh my gosh, yeah, he's been hooked before. So yeah, 4K1 for Gun Connor. Jeez. Holy shit. I am really. Wow. It's incredible seeing like how well Gun Connor just managed to exploit that one little mistake from our survivor side and just turn it into 4K1. And I thought Lirasanmarine had a good choice, but yeah, it's gonna wrap it up, and we'll see you in the next nurse set, I guess. Alright, everybody. Oh my, what did we just witness in the previous trial? That was amazing to see the teams perform there. But yeah, welcome back to this qualifiers round. Very intense competition, as we just saw, as I was saying before. Remarking on it is just a good enough. Oh my gosh, but this is to say that an intro, we do find an undying little bit of value coming in for our killer potential. And it might result in another really fast 2-tap coming in, but as I was getting to my intro, yeah, we just saw a 4K1 coming into this qualifiers for Void's killer. And our potential has the task of trying to improve it or tie, or well, I mean that's his task if he loses it. Then unfortunately, we're gonna go to Void. But that was an insane set going on in the nurse, and it's just like I feel like that one little slip up from Voices in the previous trial just managed to catapult it just enough out of the survivor's hands. But seems like this one is going to be a little bit more direct. Savior potentially just going to be going down here, but it's not even cared about at all. Potential wants to go back to this unhook and FTP that just came in from Oblivion, taking the pressure off. Like, I mean, does it really take the pressure off? I don't know. Does it really? Because now potential has just found Oblivion who's injured, and suddenly there's a little bit of pressure coming on for the survivors. Of course, they do have a ton of second chance perks available for them, so it's not going to be such a big deal if this is slugged even more. But the pickup onto Earth does come through, and Potential does concede that as Sunlight to escape. So yeah, Bunkai is gonna be able to get away from this one a little bit scot-free, and Potential takes the aggro instead, getting put on this hook. We still haven't seen a gen pop though, so a little bit of a worry, I'd say, coming from the survivor side. But this generator is so close to being done, and that might spell a bit of problems. Oh yeah, we could hear like I think that fourth piston turning as well. Maybe I'm just stupid, but we do get hit over that. It's not great Fexito because again that was a pallet drop from the wrong side, and now Potential 2-tap coming in. Potential gets the hit over the other side. What the hell was that? Pallet drop, and I thought I heard like a stunt kind of sound, but no, apparently not. And now suddenly things are looking in Potential's favor. Like, look at this. This gen still progressing for Ruin. Does nearly interrupt the unhook and just wants to try and tunnel out Oblivion, but no doubt Oblivion's going to have a little bit of the DS shenanigans we saw in the previous shot. So maybe this somehow won't be too detrimental, but oh my. Yeah, it's a DS. Alright, there's a DS, and it's still again very, very concerning because our survivors have not managed to pop a single generator here, and Oblivion goes down again trying the dead hard tech, but unfortunately the tech not going to work and result in the second hook stage coming. But very, very, very little small glimmer of hope for survivors as we do see that first generator pop. I mean, well, maybe I'm making it sound bad for survivors, but really, I don't think they have that much gen pressure over the board. They still need to pop 3 more before the win condition is met. Actually, the tie condition is met, and if they can't pop the 3, then they might just be out because that's the Tycon. That's 4K1. 4K2 is just not enough. I don't know. Again, the gens just don't feel like they have enough pressure onto them. Ruin doing, again, kind of enough work, just pressuring the survivor off and holding this hook as Potential. You know, just being a presence and forcing the hand of our survivors. And now, I guess, he wants to secure at least a trade for this unhook is logical, but survivors, again, the gens need to stop popping. They need to stop popping, otherwise, do they like potentially like lose this? No pun intended, but like 4K2 is completely possible in this position. We haven't even seen another generator pop, but Potential, what is this? He's found an angle on the hook. I don't know what this is, but like it's working, and cannot get this unhook. That might be a crucial little bit of development coming in, and yeah, that might even have that might have stopped Earth's potential deliverance coming in. That's a huge deal because you know, now can just be picked up for free, but yeah, Potential does so, you know, aware that the survivor cannot possibly have deliverance. So oh my, this really bad. That unhook being body blocked, I don't know what the hell that was. Something to do with the map, it must be. This suddenly propelled things into the 3v1 very prematurely, and it's not necessarily like the tightest of 3 gens, but it's still a 4 gen, which is better than a 3 gen technically, because the survivors need to do 1 more generator, and Potential's somehow managing to do so much even though he's technically really not doing anything. Did he find a survivor here? Okay, he doesn't. Very lucky for them, but I'm surprised he's committing this far. I hope he just camps out the hook at this point, because although his gen split is not the best, as I was saying before, like it's still a somewhat centralized hook relative to the location of the gens, and yeah, we do see the survivors get that hook in the background, so good little punishment by them for Potential's overcommit. I just don't know if they have enough time to get that gen done, especially Earth's being found here. Swimmer's being popped here. Go for an unfortunate short blink, but that's a real boon for survivors because Earth could be able to make further and further into this map away from the gen setup. And yeah, look at this, he's made a lot of distance with that one missed blink, and potentially does again. So that's Ruin being popped for it, so yeah, he made edge map from pretty much nothing. Unfortunately, that double back's not going to work, but that's just free time for survivors. I I don't think a gen will pop again, but a nurse doesn't have an option. That's a really big deal. They can't get additional bits of aggression apart from just kicking, and every little bit of time does really matter without an option. I think that time's running out. That taking second hook is only 70 seconds away from being sacrificed, and still don't hear that much gen progress coming in to this generator here. So I don't know. Are survivors trying to go for 4K on tie condition? Are they going for a win? I feel like a win is a bit out of hands here. It's a bit out of their control, but that is a beautiful part stuff coming in from a Vexito redeeming themselves for the first chase, I think. And yeah, maybe things actually turn around for survivors because our nurse doesn't. Again, as I was saying before, no option means no like stable aggression from here on. Dying Light's out of the trial. Discordance ain't really a regression perk, and Undying Ruin to both of them gone already. So maybe this like one commit from potential could spell a little bit of trouble, but they do try a little bit of a blink coming in, but luckily Bunkai was somehow doing a good enough job, but takes the tag anyway. Good amount of time bought yet again, kind of lured potential away from the high progress generator, and they're not getting it done in the background and accept a 4K1 result, but they were trying. They didn't commit to the generator, so they're still playing for more than just a 4K1, I believe, which is good for them. They performed really well in the kill. Gon Cotter, again, just showing off what what persistence really is, and punish that one mistake. Led to the 4K1, and now Bunkai is actually maybe the one on the receiving end of this unfortunate luck, but gets away from that beautifully timed double back. I feel for the potential now, because that down would have been so crucial next to that high break, and then Bunkai goes for, what was that? Was that an MOV? Whatever, auto aim? Oh my lord, I would be fuming if I was in a potential shoot. Just get the down here though, but look at how much more away this down is to the generator. It's like that down could have been right next to Jack, and then suddenly we've been propelled like 40 meters away from the generator. And look at this, the survivors are attacking again. They're like just pestering this generator until it runs out of kicks, but potential's also like being pestered from everywhere, because like really there could be another gen in the background being progressed this time. Bunkai picks himself up, probably unbreakable coming in, but it's just time. Time's kind of being felt on the side of the nurse now. Like our survivors have the resources to get this 4th gen done. I don't know if they get the 5th done, but it seems very, very likely at this point. But there's a slight bit of discordance, I think, coming in, and yeah, they're trying to get this additional generator done too. So potential. Oh my, this is suddenly turned towards the survivor's favor. Just like a couple of missed blinks, which Guncotter did kind of like cut down later into the trial. Like now starting to come back and buy potential. Kind of like the opposite of what we're seeing last trial. Like Killer was in a good spot last trial. Actually, no, survivors were in a good spot last trial. They made one mistake, and then everything came back and crashing down onto them. And now our Killer is in a really good spot, and then now they're like just a couple of missed blinks, like one missed swing, 2 missed swings on the Bunkai, then maybe like a few overcommits. Suddenly our survivors again just like looking really, really healthy, even though they're technically injured. Like look, they can play with this, and oh my, I don't know what to say, because it's intense for both teams at this point. They know how close this is. Like they're both going for it, and Bunkai gets picked up and down, but they might get enough time for final survivors to go for the final generator. Can't get it done though in time, because Erd is going away from the gen. Oh wait, and this one mistake might have just cost Void here, because they don't have this generator done. It's looking like it's on 80%, so it's nowhere near done. Get found here! Potential! No! What has he done? Void, what just happened? We could have gone for the 4K1, but now they're gonna end up losing this nurse set, I believe. There's just like, even with penalties for hook stages don't come before generators, so yeah, Nurse is happy to bleed everyone out, doesn't want to take any risk of a deliverance or stupid shenanigans coming in, and that just wraps out our qualifiers. Wow. I am kind of speechless, because those were such dynamic sets. It's so great to watch, and then suddenly, like it's 4K2 or it could be 4K1. Um, again, it doesn't really matter if the survivors bleed out. As I was saying, 4K2 trumps to 4K1 in any position. Then I don't know. Just crazy. The side of Void, who could have definitely secured a 4K1 and just greeted for 4K0, and that just led to their demise after that unfortunate pickup incident onto Bunkai. So, damn. Our final fresh hook. Okay, Bunkai's been hooked before, so I don't really know why it's not going for a pickup here. But yeah, Vexita's especially good. Just weird about. Wow. Yeah, I mean, GG's well played though. Void nearly pulled it back from. Well, they pulled it back in the nurse setting. They're looking like 4 kills was not possible at 1 gen remaining, and then pulled it back to a 4K1. And then Survivors looking really promising for a 4K0, and now have thrown it away into the bin, into the trash, and we're left with a 4K2. Yeah, Lirasanmarine is going to be going through and into your best of 32. So yeah, GG's. I'm happy for them, but I'm kind of disappointed that Void did not progress, because they definitely could have gone for that. So yeah, two local teams, two of my favorites, I'd have to say. There's Marine going through. That's gonna be it for this qualifier. So yeah, see you later then.